Hi, my name's Alex, and the book that I am doing my book talk on is The Marshmallow Test by Walter Mischel, I believe. I'm not really exactly sure if that's how you say it. But the book is talking about the marshmallow test, but it's not a very difficult thing to explain. I really enjoyed the book because it just goes further into depth about the delay of gratification and really what it could mean for people like in their lives. So the marshmallow test is a test where children normally people like children take the test and they are put on like set in front of a table with a marshmallow on it, and they are told that they can either ding the bell and eat the first marshmallow that they're given, or if they can wait until the person comes back, the scientist, the researcher, then they can have two marshmallows. So it's kind of the thing where they want to delay gratification and get the two marshmallows. So the marshmallow test can actually predict a lot, which I think like just reflects toward the social life. It is said that the marshmallow test can really reflect SAT scores. It also said that it could reflect the better social cognitive functioning, and like a more healthy lifestyle. And it's just kind of like a positive thing to be able to delay gratification. Um, Delaying gratification is something that people can be taught. It's like a really big thing that like can be taught. There are a lot of like different ways that the kids were able to delay gratification. The main thing that like we have to know about the delay of gratification is your hot system and your cool system. A hot system is the thing that you think about like the now, like you want it. It's kind of like more so the like if you have a devil and an angel on your arms, your shoulders, it's more so the devil, the one that's like you got to do it, you got to do it, and the angel's more like no, you want to like wait. So a good example like here is the kids that are just eating the marshmallows. They want it now. It's their hot system. They're on it. Another example would be like when you're smoking, instead of thinking about the long term, you think about nope, cigarette right now, I'm feeling stressed, cigarette. The cool system, on the other hand, is the thing that you think about the long system. It's like the more so the angel, the kids that waited for the two marshmallows. They're thinking about the future. Again, with the cigarettes, it's people thinking lung cancer, no cigarettes, I don't care. Um Another a way to, it says in the book that to delay gratification, it can be taught, like it's possible. And one of the big things that they think about is the kids said that they either just didn't look at the marshmallow because they didn't want the temptation, and they knew that if they did, they may like the hot system will take over. So a lot of kids turned around. Some kids also said that they created a picture frame around it to where it looked like the marshmallow wasn't even there. A lot of kids hid the buzzer so that, or hid the bell so that they couldn't ring it ever. And just overall, like self control or the delay of gratification can really be like affected. Like it can be taught at a young age, but it also couldn't be taught. Like there are ways to like help it like occur, but there are also just sometimes where just some kids can't delay gratification, and that's fine. But another really big thing that it's not really delaying gratification, but it's more so a way to reflect on what you did. And it is a way of delaying gratification, and that's to think of a if then statement. So if you're thinking, if I have a cigarette now, then I'll get cancer in the future. It's a way to kind of like cool your system down, not like get rid of that hot system and bring in the cool system. And it's a great way that a lot of people think about now, like when they're maybe feeling aggressive, they definitely think of like an if then statement. And a lot of time, another example of like a good not a delay of gratification, but more so just a way to reflect on maybe a situation where you did get aggressive and you did let your hot system take over. The book talks about a like after the situation has happened, you want to think about, instead of like thinking about the situation as yourself, you actually think about the situation as a fly on the wall, because then it's more so you're getting rid of your bias, as we would talk about it. And because if you think about it as yourself, maybe you may think, oh my god, I hated that person. Like if we had an argument, you'd be like, oh my god, they were just like all sorts of wrong. But if you think about it as a fly on the wall, you may think, wow, I said like some things that I shouldn't have said, or this is like a dumb argument that you're seeing as a fly on the wall. And it just kind of like just like those are just different tips that some people may use to kind of either reflect or maybe delay gratification a little longer. So there are actually schools which are called KIPP schools, KIPP, which help students delay gratification. There are certain schools which a lottery is held, and they really do help students delay gratification. There was a boy who did win the lottery. His name was George. He was in the book, and he got into the school, as I said, and he said that it saved his life because he got into great schools. He wasn't doing good before he got into the KIPP school, but as I said, the delaying gratification has led to higher SAT scores. So if people taught to delay gratification, everyone would mostly be doing good. As I said, they lead to higher healthiness, they lead to more healthiness, they lead to higher SAT scores. It's overall better to be able to delay gratification. You want a cool system. And as I said, George said that it saved his life. He wouldn't have gotten into college if he wouldn't have gone to a KIPP school, and he's 100% certain of that. So another big thing about the KIPP schools is instead of you going into timeout, doing something wrong, like going into a corner, they just have a cool down chair, because obviously when those kids were getting aggressive, maybe yelling in class because they got frustrated, they would just sit in the cool down chair and just kind of get their cool system on and just kind of cool down, which is a really cool way of learning. They're taught to delay gratification, and I just think it's a really cool thing. They teach them about the if-then statements, kind of everything the book talks about. Those kids are taught, and the KIPP schools have a great admission. I believe that I think they have a 60% college rate, because it was in a neighborhood, the first KIPP school, and it bumped up the actual average of kids going into college by 20%. I think it was 40%. I think it bumped it up to 60. So although there's aren't high numbers, it was kind of it's a lot better than what it was before. And now there's more KIPP schools kind of throughout. I don't know if the book didn't really talk about the country or the world, but I believe it's the country. So the marshmallow test can really be reflected on life. It's a big thing that really can predict, as I said, just kind of how a person may do. Although it is not the only reason, it is a big thing that can benefit some people. It's not a bad thing to be able to delay gratification. Another thing that it can predict is a 401k, approximately, because again, to delay gratification is to be able to think about the future and not the now. So some people, when they're at a job, maybe in their 20s, they're not thinking about the future when they want to retire. They're thinking about the now. I want a pair of shoes. They're not thinking about, wanting food in the future. They're not. It's just not how they work. Their hot system is taking over. So a quote that I think really helps kind of understand the delay of gratification a little bit more. In some, the success and mastery experiences children have early in life increase how willing and able they become to pursue goals with persistence, develop optimistic expectations for success, and cope with the frustrations, failures, and temptations that are inevitable as they grow up. Their developing sense of control and agency and optimistic expectations become key links and active ingredients in the story that connects the seconds of preschool waiting time for a couple of marshmallows to the diverse positive outcomes we see as their lives evolve. So as I said, the marshmallow test can predict a lot of things, and that was just more of a scientific explanation of the test in overall. And it just, as I said, it can lead from just a little marshmallow can just tell us so much about what a person might be like in the future. And another big thing it talked about is your optimism. Optimistic people really have a really good cool system because they're thinking more about the future, and if I didn't do it this time, I've definitely got it next time, and they definitely have an advantage, I think, in the game of life. Another quote, which I think the book is kind of based off of, and I think it really invoked the author to write this book, and he said that the story of the quote kind of had gave him the push to write the book. So the quote doesn't really make sense on its own, but as I explain it, it'll make sense. I reply with what George Kelly said to his therapy clients when they kept asking him if they could get control of their lives. He looked straight into their eyes and said, "Would you like to?" So the book is kind of like based off the quote, "Would you like to?" And it kind of implies that just because you want to do it now doesn't mean you'll want it in the future. And if you actually want something, you have to think about your cool system. You can't let your hot system take over. So he's saying to the like his therapy clients that are asking like, I want to change my life, and he's like, or they're asking like, can we change our lives? And he's like, well, I don't know, like, do you want to? You can't change your life without the want. Like, if you really want it, then you got to think about the future. You cannot think about the now. And people that really want something like that, like to change their complete lives, they have to know that it can't be done in that like split second. It can't happen now. Like, if you want to lose weight, it has to happen over a period of time. It's just not something that you have to like do then. So overall, I really enjoyed the book, and I thought it was so interesting that a tiny little marshmallow can really predict like a lot of things about you. And I've never really thought about if I can delay gratification. I really wish that somebody did this test on me, and I wish that I knew what I would be like. But then again, I don't really know if I want to know that much about myself, and it may bring me down. But I overall really like the book, and yeah, I would really recommend it if you like really are curious on how to just kind of like think a little bit more about your situations, especially if you're somebody who may be a little bit more aggressive. That you definitely, I think the book has bettered me. Honestly, I've started to think more about like what I'm saying and the aggressiveness that I've had. And yeah, I would really recommend the marshmallow test. So thank you for watching.